Okay, so for today's deep dive, we're looking at Werner Heisenberg. And we want to go way beyond just the uncertainty principle, right?
Absolutely. We need to explore the huge scientific shifts he caused, his turn towards philosophy, even metaphysics, and those really difficult ethical questions during World War II.
It's a big scope.
It is, because Heisenberg, he really engineered a massive change in physics. I mean, moving us from that old Newtonian deterministic view,
Where everything's predictable, like clockwork.
exactly, to a world based on probability, on fundamental uncertainty. It wasn't just tweaking things, it was a whole new reality.
And this revolution, it really came out of a crisis, didn't it? Early 20th century physics was hitting a wall.
Oh, completely. Classical ideas just break down when you try to apply them to atoms. Think about Bohr's model, the little electron planets. It just didn't match experiments.
Right, it couldn't explain things. They needed something totally new.
And Heisenberg gave it to them. 1925, matrix mechanics. His approach was, well, radical for the time. He insisted on using only things you could actually observe, measure, like the light frequencies, the spectral lines, no more guessing about invisible electron paths.
Okay, observables only. And he used this weird math.
Well, non-commutative multiplication. Matrix algebra. Not so weird now, but definitely different then. And that gave us the first solid, logical version of quantum mechanics, earned him the Nobel in 1932.
But the Nobel citation itself is
Yeah.
interesting, a bit controversial.
Yeah, it is. It focused on a very specific application, that the allotropic forms of hydrogen, and, conspicuously didn't mention the uncertainty principle.
Which was arguably his most profound philosophical contribution. Why leave that out?
It really suggests how much resistance there was, even institutionally, to the deep implications of his ideas. The uncertainty principle, which he laid out in 1927, wasn't just physics. It set a fundamental limit on what we can know.
Right, you can't know a particle's exact position, delta x, and its exact momentum, delta p, at the same instant.
Exactly. And the crucial point here, the one lots of people miss. It's not just because our measuring tools are clumsy or we haven't figured it out yet. No, it's fundamental. The particle literally does not possess both properties with perfect sharpness simultaneously. It's inherent to nature.
Wow. So that just completely shatters classical determinism, the idea that if you knew everything now, you could predict the future perfectly.
Gone. The universe isn't a perfect clockwork after all, which led him, naturally perhaps, into philosophy.
Yeah, his book, Physics and Philosophy, it was part of that World Perspective series, clearly trying to connect science and the humanities.
He had to. He realized our everyday words, position, speed, things we get from our big world experience, they don't work properly down at the quantum level. The language breaks down.
So where did he find a new language? Or new concepts?
He reached way back to Aristotle, surprisingly.
Aristotle? Seriously?
Yeah, he picked up on these concepts, potentiality and actuality.
Okay, how did he use those?
He argued a quantum system, before you measure it, exists in a state of potentia. It's like an objective tendency, a possibility, only when it interacts with something like a detector.
A measurement.
Right, a measurement. Does it collapse into actuality?
Yeah.
A definite outcome. So the world kind of exists in this fuzzy state between the idea of an event and the actual event, as he put it.
Mm-hmm. Between the idea and the actual event. That makes you think. If that applies to physics, maybe it applies elsewhere, like to his own life.
It's a compelling parallel, because the uncertainty definitely follows him into history, particularly during World War II.
The historical uncertainty principle. He was a lead scientist in the German nuclear program, the Uranium Club.
He was, not a Nazi Party member, but a key figure. He said he stayed to protect German science. But the big question, the debate that still rages.
Did he deliberately slow things down? Sabotage the bomb effort? Or did he just fail?
It's incredibly complex. The farm hall transcripts are key here. These were secret recordings of him and other German scientists held captive after the war.
What did they reveal?
Well, when Heisenberg heard the news about Hiroshima, his first reaction apparently was disbelief. And his initial calculation for the critical mass needed for a bomb, it was way off. He calculated it in tons when the reality was kilograms.
Tons instead of kilograms. That's a huge difference from the guy leading the project.
It strongly suggests, maybe a significant lack of understanding about bomb physics during the crucial war years. It complicates that whole sabotage narrative.
And we also need the context, right? The German program itself had problems.
Big problems. It was underfunded, disorganized compared to the Manhattan Project. By 1942, the leadership pretty much decided a bomb wasn't feasible in the short term and shifted focus to building a reactor instead. It wasn't all just Heisenberg.
So it was systemic failure, too.
Right. So you're left with this incredibly brilliant physicist who reshaped our understanding of reality, but whose actions and maybe even competence during the war remain shrouded in this historical uncertainty. A master of the quantum world, but maybe less so in the messy human one.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to consider. If quantum physics tells us reality itself has this inherent uncertainty, this potentia, could it be that historical events, especially messy ones involving human choices and morality, also exist in that state forever between the idea of an event and the actual event? Something to think about? Okay, so for today,